All right. So as Sunil told you, I'm a real estate investor. I'm a coach. I'm an author, and I'm a speaker. But it wasn't always like this. I survived the worst time of my life. I survived the genocide in Rwanda. I lost so many loved ones, including my lovely father. I lost my older brother. I lost my younger brother. And I came to Canada as a refugee. I didn't have anything. I didn't even speak English. Even the French I spoke was so different that I couldn't understand when people were talking to me. But all of that didn't stop me. I decided to learn fast and adjust and keep moving forward. And I was thinking I'm going to get a job and climb the corporate ladder. But I noticed even my supervisor, who were making more money than me, were complaining about money. So I said, what's wrong? It must be another way. And then I came across the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's what I learned, that rich people buy assets, and the assets buy them liabilities. But middle class and poor people buy liabilities. That's why they're poor. And then I started focusing on buying assets. But after a while, I was buying properties. And then after a while, the bank told me, no, you're done. You maxed out. You cannot have any more mortgage. That's where I met Sunil, and I became a PIC member. And I told Sunil that what's going on, I can't buy any more property because I can't have any mortgage. And he told me what to do to keep buying more income properties. And I can tell you, you can do that too. And it doesn't matter what happened to you. What matters is how you react to it. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a leader, but you cannot do both. So today we're going to see together how you can raise capital. Yeah, we're going to see how you can raise capital. But before you raise capital, there are a few things you have to have. First of all, you have to have a good deal. And you need to have experience. But if you're brand new, you don't have experience. But how can you have experience if you're new? You can find somebody who is already investing and work with him and get experience. Then you can move on your own. Or you can partner with somebody with experience and use the experience. And of course, you have to have knowledge. We are so lucky now, we have information everywhere. You can see information on YouTube, on books, meetups, networking events. There are so many ways you can get the knowledge. And this is really important. You need integrity. Integrity means when you say you're going to do something, you have to do it no matter what. If you're tired or if it's freezing cold outside, it doesn't matter. You say you're going to do it, especially if nobody's watching. And of course, you need to have a plan. And you need to have a team, because there's no way you can do everything by yourself. All right, so how can you find good deals? You heard the saying, location, location, location. Location is very, very important. It's better to find a really ugly house in a nice location than to find a better house in a really bad location. The second thing is equity. Equity, that means the asking price is way below the comps. The comps means the similar properties in the same area that have been sold recently. You see the price they were being sold off, they have to be way higher than the asking price. And you have to estimate the renovation cost so you can have equity left after you buy this property. The third thing is the cash flow. The cash flow means the income from that property minus all expenses. You have to have a positive cash flow. If it's negative, it doesn't worth it, because you cannot count only on appreciation. It has to be a positive cash flow. So let's talk about lenders. Where can you find these lenders? Somebody who can lend you money. You can, besides the banks, of course. You can find them in networking events, but you have to know their level of investment. Because if somebody has money but only invests in multifamily, you cannot go present him as single family. So you have to know the level of investment. Also, of course, you have to have legal protection. You have to be protected. And once you have these people money, you have to keep in touch with them, telling them how things are going. Okay, so there are so many ways you can raise capital, but we're going to talk about 3 ways. The first one is raising capital from friends and family. The second one is seller financing, and the third one is hard money lenders. So raising capital from friends and family is the easy way, because these people know you, they can trust you, but you cannot choose anybody. You have to be careful. You narrow your list. You have to choose people who understand your vision and who have business skills. It's not everybody with money. You have to make sure you narrow your list and you choose the best. Of course, you have to have an agreement, a written agreement. So you have to, in your agreement, you have to have a repayment plan. How are you going to repay them and how long time it will take? And you decide, are they going to own something in the property, or they're just lenders? You're going to just pay them. Once you pay them off, you're done with them. So you have to decide that in your agreement and make it clear. And everybody has to understand the agreement, because you don't want later on to have problem with your own family or friends because they didn't understand. They thought maybe they own 50% and you thought they don't own anything, and later on they have problem. Especially if they lend you money and later on you're doing really good, you have to be careful. Make sure everybody understands the agreement before you go on. And because when you have a proper documentation, it's easier to deal with problem later on because everything you have it written. Okay, so I use this strategy to purchase property because I knew somebody in my family who had money but didn't want to deal with tenant, didn't have time. So I show him the property and he likes it and it was in a good location. We already have enough equity in, and he come up with a down payment and closing cost. And I screen the tenant, I manage everything. That's how I was able to acquire one more property without using my own money. The second way to raise money is seller financing. Seller financing, that means the person who is selling the house accept to finance you. Because maybe you don't qualify for the bank, like what was going on with me. So but this person, in order to be able to finance your property, they have to own this property free and clear. That means the mortgage is paid off. And it's easier and cheaper because you don't have to go through the process of the bank. But of course, it's a little bit, the interest rate is higher than the bank, but it's easier to get, especially when the banks say no. Usually it runs for a shorter period, 5 years or to 10 years, because the interest is a little bit high, so it's better to use a short period. And of course, you have to go through a lawyer. You have to protect yourself. So how can you find this seller financing? So you have to find people who own property free and clear. They love having the cash flow every month, but they are tired of dealing with tenant. They don't want to do that anymore. So you can take the headache and keep paying them every month, but you don't have to go through the bank to get a mortgage. So the third way you can raise money is hard money lender. The hard money lender, they are entity that can loan you money, but they're not tied to any bank or credit union. these loans are type of loan that are secured by the property. Sometimes they don't even check your credit score or your employment, because they're going to charge you a high rate. And if you don't pay, they take the property. So it's easier. They don't have to go through the process of a bank. Their primary hard money loans are primarily used for real estate transaction. And of course, this one even higher, the interest rate is higher than seller financing. It's more than 10%. It has to go through a short time. Because you need money for a short time, then you can move on. Of course, the interest rate, as I said, is higher. And the good thing with them, you can negotiate the term. It's not like the bank. When the bank told you it's this percentage for how long, that's it. But with a hard money lender, you can negotiate. Of course, it has to go in a short time because it's expensive. Advantage of using hard money loans, the process is really fast. They don't check your credit score, they don't check your employment. And this can help people with poor credit score or people who cannot qualify for the bank loan, like what happened to me. And you can negotiate the term. And the payment can be flexible. Of course, there is pros and cons. The disadvantage is sometimes they can ask you a bigger down payment. And interest rate is very high, so that means the payments are higher. But how can you find these people who can loan you money? You can find them in networking event, or even like this one, on Facebook group, meetup groups, LinkedIn. There are so many people you can find that can accept to lend you money. I used this strategy too, because I didn't have I couldn't qualify for the bank, and I find somebody. I find somebody we met in so many events, and then we became friends. And when I find a really good deal, he accepted to give me money, and I negotiate. Instead of giving me 80%, he financed 100%. Of course, the interest rate was high and the payment was high, but it was for a short time. And after I finished the renovation, I refinanced it, and I pay him back, and then I went with the bank. So this is how I was able to buy properties using other people's money. And if you remember, I told you I came to Canada with nothing. I came in the middle of the winter. I didn't even have winter boots. I have nothing. And now I own 7-figure portfolio. How can I didn't even speak English. So imagine what you can accomplish if you are already speaking English already, and you can accomplish a lot. And I was able to share stages with legends like Robert Kiyosaki last December, Robert G. Allen, and Sunil Tulsiani, and today with Kevin Harrington and Michelle Romanow. And I was able to meet these amazing people. Okay, it's not working. I was able to, I don't know what happened. I was able to meet Jack Canfield, the co-creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. I was able to meet Les Brown, the motivational speaker. I was able to meet Grant Cardone, the real estate guru. Imagine what you can do. If somebody like me can accomplish that, you can too. So I want to give, because I couldn't go into details because we have a short time, I want to give you a free report telling you about these 3 ways you can raise money. You can go to my website, greenmineproperties.com, and choose free report. And you will have a report with more detail. can give you 1 minute to download that free report. So you're going to put your email, and then the report will go to your email right away. And also, I wanted to give a free gift. I want to give to 10 people this book, Secret to Wealth. I wrote a co-author with Brian Tracy. To 10 people. 10 people can win this book, physical copy. Usually it's $30, but I'm giving you for free, but you will have to pay for shipping unless you live in London, Ontario. If you live in London, Ontario, let me know, we can meet somewhere and I can give it to you. Or you can choose 30 minutes free coaching. That I'm going to give it to 2 people. So what you have to do, you just have to email. You have to email info@greenmineproperties.com and tell me if you choose the book and tell me where to send it, or if you choose the 30-minute coaching. So you send email at info@greenmineproperties and tell me what you choose. Yeah. And so this is the free report. You can download right now for free. The 3 ways to raise capital. You can download right now and tell me which gift you want to get, and by sending email at info@greenmineproperties.com. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. If you have any question, I'm on social media as Greenmine Properties, especially on Instagram. You can ask me any question. I will be happy to help. Thank you so much and enjoy your day. Thank you.